That's right, family. I'm back. Sorry I missed you guys last week, but good news is we don't have risky business with us this week, so we get to talk about whatever the hell we want. Boom! Welcome to Midway Radio.
Without risky.
I'm Carlos Gomez, and that right there, that's Ryan Brockmeyer.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Very nice. That's DJ Sean Doe.
What's up, people?
And this week, y'all, we're just gonna get right to it. We got Decay the Llama.
What up? What up?
Hang on. Damn it! I hate it when I do that. Looking like MF.
Is that how you? Gotta get a good greeting from our studio audience.
Is that how you say your rhymes?
You know, I think no, I don't say my rhymes like that.
You don't say your rhymes with that.
I go in the booth, man. I go in the booth butt naked, man. I swear. I'm giving them the truth. I want to be naked. Nah.
Welcome to Midway Radio, Daryl, or Decay the Llama.
Yeah, you call me Daryl. Daryl's cool.
From the waist down, I'm butt ass naked, just to make you halfway at home.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta be in the buff, man. You gotta be, straight up truth.
You gotta go al natural, as they say.
This just started, and we've taken a weird turn somewhere. We gotta get out of this one.
The look on Ryan's face is not good.
He's like, we usually go on updates, and now we're talking about being butt naked.
Speaking of buck naked, I actually have a transition for that.
All right.
Let's see.
Do it.
Did you guys see the picture of a guy who caught a juvenile great white shark and then decided to take all his clothes off and lay on top of it on the boat and take a photo with it?
No.
Nah, I ain't see that.
Wow.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor and check that out, because that is some shit that you cannot unsee.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going from down that road. I was gonna say yeah. Let me guess. It wasn't anyone with pigment.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I just wanted to
I mean, everybody was thinking it, right?
Yeah.
So let's check in with our butt naked white boy. Hey Ryan, what's going on?
Hey,
what's going on?
I at least got a t-shirt on.
Yo.
Yeah, so we're on a roll here because this is our second show in 2 weeks after taking some time off. I'm very proud of that fact. So hopefully,
hold on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan, for sending it to me. And now I can't unsee this. Thank you.
Oh, he sent it to you?
Yes.
Hey, don't send it to me, man. We're not gonna pass that around right now. I can't look at that right now.
It's so bad.
I want to see. I have to write a note, but
it should be in your messages as well. So
you already sent it.
So yeah. So as far as updates, we did a couple more interviews last week. We did one of the legends of Chicago hip hop, Black Ice. So we continue to keep those up, and then Kane won. So Got some really good graffiti talking. Got some good poetry in hip hop talking with Black Ice. Sean, you were there for the interviews. What did you think?
I thought they were both good. I didn't know who Black Ice was. He was very his interview was very interesting. He was very well spoken to, so it just kept me kind of into it. Kane that interview was amazing. There was a lot of knowledge in that one person. So those two interviews were super awesome, and I'm so glad I was able to make it to both of them.
Yeah, that's the good thing. I did not know Black Ice personally. We've talked through social media and in email and stuff like that. So that was the first time that I had met him in person. And the one thing that I gotta say that continues to, I don't want to say impress me, but the continuing thing that's awesome about this project is that every interview that we do is good. We've done officially 202 interviews, and there hasn't been a bad interview yet.
Not one.
It's
just you wait. Just you wait. No.
So yeah,
Decay, you were before we go too far. Decay, you were one of the early folks that got interviewed.
Yeah.
What was it like when these folks actually reached out to you and said, "Hey, instead of laying with a shark butt ass naked, we would rather."
Shondo actually just sent me, by the way. Thought we was friends, man.
Oh.
What was it like? When they first reached out?
So I would say, when you're doing music, at least for me, my experience was always I didn't know how much I even made any kind of real dent, or not even a dent, but how much of an impact I made in Chicago. And I knew there was people who knew who I was, and it's something that I think as an MC, you're supposed to feel a certain kind of way, they know who I am and this and that. But, I've never really been that type of cat. So it's I didn't really know how much of an impact I made. I knew I reached certain people. And I knew Moment were, kind of a big name in Chicago and around. And, linking up with them, I didn't know exactly how much of an impact I made in my time I was there. So when you guys reached out, it was hey, I guess people know who I am, and it just, it felt I'm part of this. I'm part of Chicago history. And
cool.
There's a lot of people out there who, they've done music too, and they've done a lot more than I have. And I'm not sure if some of the people I think should be in this. I don't know if you guys have interviewed yet. I know you've interviewed so many people that you probably have hit a lot of the people I'm thinking about.
So name one of those people.
So let's say Gilead 7.
Okay, so we do have Gilead on the list. He's not as attainable as he would have been if he was living here, but we definitely do have them. Where does he live, Ryan?
He's I don't know if he's in LA proper, but he's in the area.
He's on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, we've actually tried to schedule him a couple times when he's been back, and unfortunately some things don't work out. But
okay.
that's definitely someone who's on
the
the list.
Gilead is super important, especially because of the label that he started, and his rhyming is so crazy. And you also know that he's a part of the group Tomorrow Kings, which my little brother is in. You know what I mean? So man, Gilead is such a important person to Chicago hip hop. So we are definitely going to get him.
Yeah, there's definitely, some of these cats, when I came up, they showed me a lot of love. Gilead is one of those cats. And, I always was impressed by his rhyme ability. And, the fact that he did have a label he started here too. I didn't even know he left Chicago, but
Yeah.
you know, that might have been a minute. I haven't seen him in a while.
Isn't he a lawyer, Ryan?
I'm not gonna say because I'm not 100% sure. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't remember. I did some artwork and stuff for him back in the day, and then we kind of just, just like anything, just kind of stopped connecting or communicating for a little while, and then I reached back out once we started to do Midway, and that's when I learned that he had moved and everything like that. So.
But speaking of lawyers, Cap D.
Yeah.
Man,
We did get Cap D.
yeah, that dude, man. I'm sure he makes everybody in Chicago hip hop proud, man. Just seeing where he's at.
I live right down the street, and I'm waiting for him to call me up to invite me because, I think they're heating up out here.
Yeah.
Cap D.
State.
I remember.
Look right in the camera too.
Cap D was one of the first people for me to get in contact with Chicago hip hop back in '97ish, something like that. And that was back when I was working for the newspaper. I was doing some journalism, and I was mainly doing sports writing. But I also did the occasional entertainment features and stuff like that. I mean, another reporter did 2 whole Sunday sections in our entertainment section on hip hop and all sorts of different things. And one of the articles in particular that I wrote about, funny enough, back in '97 was how important the internet is going to be to hip hop artists, and especially like underground or independent hip hop artists back in '97, '98. So I interviewed Cap D for that, and Davey D. People should know who that is.
Sure.
But yeah, he was one of my first connections, and he was actually taught me some production and stuff too back in the day. So he was kind of a musical mentor too. So big ups to Cap D, and it was crazy because I didn't know when he became a lawyer here in the city. We ended up working in the same building. I didn't know it until we both were going up the elevator at the same time. His law firm was in the same building as the marketing company that I was working for. So
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
You should have came out here with him.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Took over this whole place.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
He wants to,
We gotta finish this. We gotta finish this documentary first, but it's definitely not too late.
If he wants to get a new job with the Warriors,
the water's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just did our interviews. Our 2 interviews last week were interviews 201 and 202.
Look at that.
So
Wow.
Damn.
yeah, and for those watching who have not been interviewed yet, who continue to wonder if they're going to be interviewed, you more than likely are. And if we said we're going to interview you, we're going to interview. And all that I ask is that you stay patient.
Be patient.
Because
And if you don't get interviewed, maybe you need to make some music or some graffiti. You got to be part of it. You got to be part of it if you want to be in it.
You could say that all the way from the West Coast. Look at
Exactly
you.
right. Exactly. But no, like think about it. Like if someone is sitting there, they go to school to be a cook. Never made anything hip hop. Maybe they went to Harvard. Maybe they're not going to be a part of this because you have to be in the game. That's my point.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Point well taken, sir.
Yeah.
Get it done.
So speaking of getting it done, speaking of getting it done,
I was gonna say that was a very nice cleanup job, right there.
That dude got to come home from time to time.
Well, Sean, before we get to our guest tonight,
Sure.
You are currently out of town at the moment, and you had a pretty prestigious DJing gig over the weekend. Would you want to tell the people about that a little bit?
Sure, real quick. Akil, one of our homies who helps us on things with Midway, he linked me with the Kennedy Center to DJ for kind of like an after party, I guess, where I ended up playing a lot of house music, And it was pretty cool. Like I had never DJ'd in a museum, especially that special before. Like I had never
Dare
been
I
in
say
any
you
place like
played
that.
a lot of White House music?
No, actually,
Not White.
Actually.
Washington, D.C. government. Don't be racist.
Oh, you're so silly. Good job. But what was crazy was that all, like, honestly, really, like, I can see all, like, the people who were working there. They were the ones that was rocking with me. Like the people that were in the black suits, all the black people, they were just kind of like. Everybody else was just like, but the servants were rocking with me. They would walk past me like serving.
The servants.
Well, I mean, but that's what they were. That's what they were. That's what their job was.
No.
They were probably servers, but I don't know if they were servants.
Yes.
Okay, so servants, servers, service people, servicing.
You could like stop and be like, "Hey, could you get my balls for a minute?" Like nobody's gonna like stop and be a servant and like do stuff like that. I'm picturing Coming to America. And dude's in the tub and a girl like comes up out the tub, like that's a servant.
We need some of those too. Midway Radio.
Yeah.
Midway Radio, butt naked from the waist down.
Naked from the waist down.
Yeah.
Your royal balls are clean.
We're not being sexist. You swear it. Hey, so how about some females part of the Midway documentary staff? How about that?
Servants?
Oh, man. Oh, I was hoping you
one
took
time.
a different turn, but you went that route, man.
Don't pull me there, Decay. Don't pull me.
I'm sorry. That was bait. You took it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know me.
Let me take a moment to say how much I miss Barb. she keeps us all.
Barb would have straightened us out real fast. Barb been like, "No, Snoop, come in here,
attack."
But Decay.
Yeah.
Ryan, do we get into where do we go? Kind of be Barb for us right now.
I'm not going to try to be Barb because I don't think I could quite do that.
Okay.
But it appears that you're going to go somewhere, so by all means.
Please. Okay, thank you. So Daryl,
yeah.
Let's talk about your releases.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that.
Can we start from the beginning though?
Yeah, that's exactly where I want to. That's definitely where I want to start.
Okay. So are we talking about his releases or are we talking about him coming out and getting into music? Or is that the same thing?
Maybe not.
We can go all the way back. We can go all the way back to that.
Because I want to know why a llama? Why not an alpaca?
Let's go directly into that one. All right. So I linked up with this producer. We made a few albums together under the name City Slick. And we kind of formed like this collective around us, people who were kind of into the same things, had the same kind of sensibilities as far as music goes. And he wanted to call this collective Green Llama. And so we kind of all laughed at the name, like, what the hell, Green Llama? Like, what is that? Like, I'm not going to be on the stage yelling out, Green Llama. Sure enough, I definitely was yelling out Green Llama a few times, but it just kind of, it came around, it started sticking a little bit. We started seeing different ways to like represent it, and now it's like there's about, I want to say there's 12 people in Green Llama. It's like it's either 10 or 12, something like that. We had a couple people who were kind of just like affiliates, like kind of how Capadonna was in Wu-Tang, but I would think they probably say he's officially Wu-Tang now. but yeah, it's something that we all kind of clung to. Green Llama, everybody who's in it represents real hard. Like you know, the big guy out of it right now is DiBiase. You know, it's like he plays music and you hear like the Green Llama strikes like before a beat comes on, and you know, people know what's up. They know it's official. But so from that, prior to that, my name was just Decay. There's a bunch of DKs out there. There's a bunch. I got like some dude talking about his lawyer's gonna send a cease and desist.
Oh.
Never got it, you know. And then like, you know, when I go look up my name in certain places, they'll have like some rock band or like some like kind of garage rock and some heavy metal, and they'll mix it all in. So it's like my associated acts are like rock and heavy metal and all that. So I wasn't really getting like the hip hop, you know, kind of like affiliation. And so I had to change it because I didn't want to be like affiliated with these guys. I also didn't want people keep coming at me talking about they're gonna sue and, you know, all that. So I just put Decay the Llama because I'm part of Green Llama. So I'm a llama. So Decay the Llama. Pretty clear. There's nobody else like that. So yeah, when I look up my name now, it's just me. So you know,
and that's like if talking about Barb, if Barb were here, she'd be like, and that is important social media etiquette. You want to have a name that stands out.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And so
Barb.
yeah, I mean, it really
good job, Barb.
You want it to stand out. You want it to be original. You don't want to be confused with the wrong this or that or the other. So like, you know, I got an album I did with Moman, and if you go look that one up, you'll see like all of my stuff on iTunes is like the popular songs that's been played, and then right below it is like their songs that have been played. And so they probably hate my guts because all my stuff comes up ahead of theirs. But yeah, and they're actually still active. For a while it seemed like they weren't, so I wasn't really sweating it, but it's like they're releasing new material. So yeah, they could just keep that Decay. I'll be Decay the Llama. So people still just call me Decay anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So then,
but Decay originally, I might as well tell the whole story. I originally, in the beginning, when I first started, don't laugh, I was Chaotic Son. I was
he said not to laugh.
I was such a Wu head, man. It's like that kind of was inspired by Wu-Tang. So Chaotic Son was the original name that I had. Then I changed it because I started getting a little bit more involved in politics, and it became Inner City Decay. So Inner City Decay was like the first real moniker. And then I dropped Inner City because it just wasn't flowing right for me. So, you know, it's like Inner City Decay. No. Actually, I went worse. I moved to Humboldt Park.
Boy, that's what
yeah. I was in Humboldt Park. So yeah, but I changed it to just Decay, just make it smoother, cleaner. It seemed a little bit better that way. And now it's like, I mean, I really wouldn't have minded keeping that name because it was original. But now I had to change it again to Decay the Llama. So
it happened.
So that was the long story of my name.
Nice.
And how'd you get into music?
Yeah. So let me see. When I first started, I started writing probably, 15, maybe even younger than that. I really liked freestyling and like kind of just like changing lyrics to lyrics that I heard and like kind of making it my own. And then probably about the time I was 17, I was really writing like kind of songs and stuff like that. And I kind of put trying to make music off to the side, and I focused on college. And I went to school. I was part of the hip hop organization at Northeastern, which we did a lot of important things. And I think that was really my first introduction to Chicago hip hop and actually being a part of it. Hired a lot of people to come through and do shows. All Naturals, one of the first groups, Rhyme Fest, Juice, Matlock, a few other people. It's just we really reached out and got people. We got Rubber Room, one of my favorite groups. They came out and rocked too. And we try to make it that we did a showcase for Chicago artists, but also kind of bring in a big name from out of town who would make people want to come. Mm-hmm. So, the people show up and then they get a chance to get introduced to all these artists that are here that they might not even known about. And so in a way that also exposed me to some artists that I wasn't really, familiar with as well. Like I first learned of Rhyme Fest through one of those shows. And then I saw Rhyme Fest linked up with an artist I had listened to before. He linked up with EC. And EC, like, probably when I first started college, was my favorite rapper. On Ill was just undeniable, and his album, he had Live from the Illa EP, which I had that on cassette. And then the Illa LP, like that just blew me away. I was like, I can't believe that there's somebody in Chicago making music like this. And that really opened me up to what was here. And just like the underground, the independence. And I think being a part of Northeastern's hip hop organization and trying to bring those people to our school and do shows, it really it made it to me like Chicago was the top. Like before that, I was like, I love New York rappers. I loved all that stuff. And then I got exposed to the underground scene here. And it was just like, ain't nobody messing with Chicago. There's just so much variety. There's so many styles. It's like you can listen to this person when you feel this way. You can listen to that person when you want to feel that way. Like Prime and Scam artists. Man, like to me, hearing that, it was just like, wow, these cats they're nice. They're real dope with it. And it's like, it was just endless inspiration. Just like all these different guys you hear, it's just, you feel inspired. You want to do something. And I was dabbling here and there, but mostly I was focused on school. Mm-hmm. And when I graduated,
where'd you go to
there
school?
Was no, I went to school for computer science with a minor in human resources development. So I got out. And it was the summer right after 9/11 happened. So when I got out, there was no technology jobs. They didn't want to hire anybody fresh out of college. It was like you had to have 5 years experience. Plus, I felt like I had the most useless degree. Yeah. And I was like trying to figure out, what am I going to do with myself? And I applied for this school called DigiPen in Washington. It's a school that's kind of sponsored by Nintendo, so it's for video game creators. And so I figured, hey, I'm going to go into that business and make video games. That's originally why I even got into computer science, because I wanted to make games. And I applied for it, and I applied for the loan, and I got accepted to the school, got rejected for the loan. So I couldn't afford the school. It was a real dark period for me around that time. It was like I couldn't go to the school. My degree was worthless. Me and my girl broke up. My wife, who I'm married to now, it was like me and her, we broke up during that time. And I went to go live back with my mom. Graduated college. I'm living at my mom's house. No job, no money. I mean, it was depressing. I stayed in my room all day. Sad. I know. Don't cry though. It's all good. I stayed in my room.
It turns around. Give it time.
It turns around. I'll get to that. But yeah, I stayed in my room all day. Curtains drawn, dark
video
room.
Games.
Played games, downloaded movies. I didn't go out at all. I didn't do anything. But my guy was running this like night over in Humboldt Park at this place called Pate Urbano, and they did open mics. They had like a cultural night where they had like the drums, like they were doing it like bomba and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, all right, I'll come check it out. And that kind of became my spot for me to like kind of cultivate all what I wanted to do. I started being a part of the open mics. I got into a few battles. I lost to L in one battle. I mean, I was decent, but I wasn't great. And
you lost to who?
L. I lost to L, man.
To Uncle L?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ask him about that. He'll tell you. I didn't lose to many, but I lost to him. He hit me with a line that I just couldn't recover from. Like words would trying to come out of my mouth, and I just kept thinking about the line he hit me with. I'm not even gonna tell you what the line is.
No,
still
please
bothers
don't.
Still
Please
bothers
don't.
me to this day. But no, you ask him about it, he'll tell you about it.
Word up.
Yeah, it was just one of those, and I actually did like one of my first like performances of songs that I wrote there. Prior to that, I was like in a talent show at Northeastern when it was a complete disaster. But this was actually like a show, and me and my friend Selfish, we did the show together, and that was the beginning of me and him really starting to work together a lot too. And from there, I kind of was like, maybe I should try to focus a little more on this music and make some stuff. And I had a few like false starts, working with cats and, starting to write music and be like, yeah, let's do an EP. And they're like, what's your budget look like? It's like, huh? And, they throw you for a loop. It's like that stuff comes first before you even get a beat. You should be talking about prices. But, I had to learn that.
Let's take a moment to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's something that no one, I can't say no one, but that's a very serious point that people have a tendency to overlook because everybody wants to make a record on like smiles and promises.
Oh yeah. I definitely feel for the cats, the producers who want to make money off of the music that they're doing. If you're making beats and you want to make some money, you want to sell this and stuff, hey, do what you want. Mm-hmm. But you can't be upset when an MC is looking at you like, who are you? Why would I pay you? Why aren't you paying me to rap on your beat? It's kind of a two-way street.
Right.
So, I think, when you're in the beginning of your career, hold on, let me close this door. When you're in the beginning of your career and you're kind of just trying to build a name for yourself, really at that point, you're kind of just an apprentice. You're learning the ropes. You're going through it. You shouldn't be charging anything. You shouldn't, whether you're doing beats or rhymes, you really shouldn't be charging anything. You're trying to get experience. You're trying to build your portfolio, your collection of work. You really, you need other people to help you out in that on that road.
So do you think otherwise? Do you think this is just building culture? So,
I think it's kind of across the board though. It's like not even just to this. It's in like I personally feel like it's in other walks of life and work where you have to like build up. Yeah, you have to build up that resume in order for you to get to a point where you're like, hey, you got to pay me for this. If you're doing artwork, yeah, you could be a good artist, but
nobody knows you.
Yeah, nobody knows you, and you're just trying to build that. You need somebody to be like, hey, this is what I need you to do. I'm going to display it here. I'm going to do this with that. You build connections. You do all these things to try to pay your dues and just get to that point. When you get to that point, then you can do whatever you want. Like there's producers out here that, I don't know what they've done. I don't know what's in their background, what they've been a part of, but, they feel like they need to charge. And it's completely up to them. They can do whatever they like, but they also got to think realistically. If that's your attitude, is that going to hinder you from working with people and getting your music out a little bit more? You know, and is it worth it? Is it worth it? So, yeah, I mean, coming back to where I was, like, I had to kind of learn that, like, you know, there's going to be people out there who really just want that money, and you can't even be mad about it. But if you're looking to work with people and you're just like getting started and they're just kind of getting started, it should really just be like, hey, we're helping each other out to get to that next level. So, you know, let's make something happen. And yeah, so I ended up, after like a few false starts, I hooked up with my friend Diego, who's part of Maintenance Crew, in which if you guys haven't scheduled them, you definitely need to talk to them. Maintenance Crew's done a lot. Yeah, so I hooked up with Diego, and he made a lot of beats for me to rock over. So I was like, you know, let's try to make something happen. He had a studio for me to go to. It was like everything was kind of all laid out. And, you know, he at the same time was working on his album with this guy, Maintenance Crew. And we just kind of were like together working in the studio, like building off each other and like ideas and just vibes. And my guy Selfish, he came along. He produced half of my first album. And yeah, the first album was called In Retrospect, in which you know, I had no expectations. I didn't know how I was going to play. I didn't know how people were going to look at it. I made tons of mistakes during the recording. Like if I listen to it now, it's like I cringe a little bit at certain parts. But yeah, that record, that album kind of made an impact more than I expected. And actually, when I met PNS, one of the first days he told me, he was like, yeah, you know, I like that album, that blue cover one, that blue cover, and it's because the cover of In Retrospect is like a shot going up to my face with the blue sky behind me, and so it's like the whole cover is kind of blue, and it's just like my outline, my shadow, or no, my silhouette in the picture. So yeah, that was.
Do you think that was your? Do you think that was your entry into the moment? Like, do you think that's the reason why they chose?
I think that definitely put me on the radar, you know, and some of the first people to really like show me love on it was Alienated Crew. So SP1, shout out to him, Brian Officer, Steph Star, you know, like all these cats, man, like they really showed me a lot of love on it. They put me on a couple of shows, which was real dope.
Like what?
You know, no, just a couple of shows with them at, like, I did a show with them at the Blue Note. At the Note, you know, we rocked that one. What else did we do? We did a couple of other little spots we rocked that. It was so far back in the day. I'm pretty sure those spots aren't even around anymore. Like maybe it was like Exodus 2 or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they showed me a lot of love, and I was telling Doe the other day, I was like, you know, are they gonna make me Alienated Crew? Come on, please put me in Alienated. You know, because like I had no real like affiliation with people, you know, and I kind of was like eager to really just connect and be part of something. Yeah. And you know, and just get with like minds, like people who wanted to, you know, do this and push things forward. So I actually got a lot of contacts from overseas about this album. Like, keep in mind, I made like 100 copies of this CD. I went out and I hand-to-hand sold it myself. I brought a little CD disc man with my headphones, and I would take it outside of shows, and I would give people headphones and tell them to listen to it. And like be like, yeah, you want to buy this? I was trying to sell them for like $10 a pop. Some I let get away for like $5, but it was like, you know, let me just get it out there. I didn't even care if I recouped the cost. It was like, let me just try to get it out to people. And I ended up putting it online too. And I think that's how I started getting like the contacts from all over the place. Like, and I realized how powerful online was, because I had a dude from London like, yo, send me 7 of them. You know, I'll sell them, you know, like send it to me. And he sent me a check. I was like, okay, 7. I was like, that's, you know, I'll sell them to you for like $5. You know, I was like $35. He sent me 35 pounds at the time. I think it was pounds or whatever. It wasn't, I don't think it was euros yet, or maybe it was euros. But he sent me that, and I remember the conversion was like, it's a lot more money than $35.
So you're a lot better businessman than you thought.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I was like, I need to keep selling to them. So I actually never cashed that check. That was like the first check I got.
I take it all back. I take it all back.
Take it right back. Take it right back. We passed the statute of limitations, I guess, on that. I can't even cash that.
If you have it right now, that'll be amazing.
You know what? I got it around. I looked at it just the other day, like, you know, because we moved and I've been packing and unpacking and doing all that. So it's around here somewhere.
You should frame it and like just put like the frame of failure, like
the frame of failure.
Because you failed that one.
It's around here somewhere. I'll find it. But yeah, I never cashed it. Yeah. So the cat who gave it to me, man, it was like, in a sense, like I just gave him 7 free CDs so he can get it around. And from that, I got this cat Winchester over there who wanted to make some production for me, and we kind of worked on a few things. It didn't really happen, but you know, it just kind of opened me up to the world in a sense. People from France hitting me up, people from Australia. It just kind of was like, wow, even if I'm not doing well here in Chicago, I can do well everywhere else. It felt like, nice. And yeah, that was pretty good. But that's also, yeah. I mean, you know, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I just saw it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me that, bro.
Selling records in Germany like they're made out of money.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I think that's how Fluent first heard of me too. So my guy Fluent, Green Llama, you know, he heard of the first album and he hit me up. He was like, hey, you know, this is dope. You want to work on some stuff? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he sent me some beats, and right away, his beats were exactly like what I was looking for, like the sound that I wanted to hear. And we worked for like a year on an album, and then he disappeared. And I was like, what the hell happened to this dude? He disappeared for like 6 months. And when he came back, like I had been listening to those songs that we made like in my headphones, like every day and stuff, just kind of like playing it till it played out. And when he came back, I was like, yeah, you know, like I had these songs, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I make beats better now. Let's just scrap it and make something else. So like, all right, cool, let's do that. So we started a whole new project. And that became the first City Slick album called the Antique Black. And so the Antique Black was, that was a lot of fun to make. I made that in my office. I had an office room, like a computer room in my apartment. And I just recorded all of it there. And it came out pretty good. The recording quality is not the best if you listen to it now, but you know, at the time it was pretty good, you know.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a little secret about the Antique Black. We as an All Natural Inc. We went to Scribble Jam one year, and I think that was the first time that I got a copy of the Antique Black. And we listened to that on the way back home, and I know Cap was truly impressed by the Antique Black. Like Cap D was like, man, that's a really serious album. And that was like the first time I had heard of you. And then I went back to try to find in retrospect, but you only made 100 copies, so I couldn't find that.
Yeah. My bad. I got one copy left here. So
thank you, bro. Thank you.
I held one copy for myself.
But it's right next to that check. It's right next to that check.
It's right next to that check. Yeah.
You should frame them both together as the frame of failure.
So the frame of failure.
I'm just messing with you. It was a good album.
No, definitely. So yeah. I'm trying to get my train of thought. Like it's like every time I'm thinking of something, it's like failure.
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but that album, it also kind of like really put me out there a little bit more because there were people in America now like paying attention. And OK Player did this review of it. They did a write-up about it. Around the same time, my guy Selfish, he also wanted to work with Fluent. And so he did a project with Fluent they were called Uncut Raw. And that album was called First Toke. So the whole thing about First Toke is pretty much I engineered the whole album. You know, I sat with Selfish. He recorded it in my computer room in my old apartment. He recorded the whole thing there. And we had a lot of fun making both albums. And it was like, as much as I was involved with his, he was involved with mine. So it was kind of like these were two sides of the same coin in a sense. And Fluent was the producer for both of them. And OK Player, like they went crazy over it. They loved it. They were talking about Green Llama, this and that. And we kind of didn't really capitalize on that kind of publicity. And I think we were just kind of like, oh man, OK Player's writing about us. Like, what happened?
I'm waiting for you to tell us the story about when Kanye West said, "I love your shit. Let's make an album," and you guys decided not to write back.
Actually, side note about Kanye.
Oh boy.
So when I was at Northeastern, we did a show which was like a lot of people still remember. We had Souls of Mischief headline, and we also brought out Atmosphere, Rubber Room, All Natural, Rhymefest, Juice. Shoot, how am I forgetting these guys? What's Pugs' crew? How am I forgetting? Necrobats. I want to smack myself for forgetting that. But I had a brain fart right there. But we had Necrobats there too. It was, I believe we had Necrobats there. I think we did. Yeah. So it was a crazy show. And Rhymefest, when he went on, he brought Kanye West with him. But at the time, nobody knew who the hell Kanye West was. And so, like, you know, he's saying out like a chant to get like the crowd into it. He's like, you know, tell me who's the best, say Rhymefest. And then everybody tell me who's the best, say Kanye West. It was like, you know, when it's Rhymefest, everyone's like Rhymefest. He's like to say Kanye West, and they're like, Kanye West.
What?
Kanye West? Who's that guy? So nobody knew who he was, but that dude arrogance was on a trillion. He was like up there, like he was the best thing in that whole building.
And that's dope.
Yeah.
Like just to have that confidence, especially for that show, because that show was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. We had public safety try to shut us down because we had too many people in there. It was like the auditorium held like 700 something, and we easily like 900 something plus.
What year was that?
Yeah. That was March of 1999, and all you saw was the third eye like logo, the Souls of Mischief, you know, hieroglyphics. Yeah, yeah. I think it felt like everybody was there. Yeah. And yeah. So Kanye West, that was my first time ever seeing or hearing about this guy.
Yeah.
And I forgot all about it. And somebody made a tape of that show. And I was watching the tape, and it's like, I'm like, oh shit, that's Kanye. Like, he came to that show? That just makes the show even more legendary. Kanye was
so basically what I've gotten out of that story is you're the one who got Kanye out And
Yes,
now,
yes.
so Kanye needs to start writing you checks that you need to promise you're actually going to cash.
That's right.
So it's either you're welcome or I apologize. I don't know. It's one of those. I don't. Nah. No, I'm a huge Kanye fan, man. I like Kanye a lot, actually. So
yeah.
Well, what I got out of it is that we need to get a hold of your friend
Exactly.
for that footage.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I you know what? I might actually have the tape. I have to look and see if I got the tape still. You know, people give you tapes and stuff or CDs, and it just never makes its way back. So I am guilty of that one, and I'm guilty of a DVD for Chicago Rocks that if Panic's watching. Yeah, I got it. my bad. I still got that one. I'm sorry.
Panic is probably watching too.
My bad, yo. My bad. Yeah. So I was pretty bad about returning those.
So you got, I mean, you got quite a catalog now, and we definitely want to talk about the last project or two. But before that, so around the same time that the Antique Black came out, that project with Astonish and Rhyme Scheme came out. Did you know those guys before that project, or was that something that was kind of brought together by the Moles?
So Scheme, I knew actually from the Northeastern Hip Hop Organization because he was part of that too. So I knew him for a minute. You know, when he started working with Visual, it was kind of like, oh man, that's dope, because we knew Visual was Panic's brother. So we were like, that's pretty dope. Like, you know, he's working with him. Next thing you know, it's like he's working with Moment. We were all like really happy for him. Like, yeah, you know, that dude, he really deserves it. He's really dope. You know, so it was kind of just like a great time. Like, and we felt like there was going to be amazing music coming out of him, and which, sure enough, he didn't disappoint. The projects he put out, you know, Scheme has always been like a really dope lyricist. You guys got Scheme, right?
We actually haven't got Scheme yet. He's another one that's on the list that we.
Yeah, you got to get Scheme.
But yeah, we will,
dude,
for sure.
Man, lyrically, he always comes with it, man. So yeah, Scheme is the dude. But yeah, I knew him for a while before I even started, you know, messing with Moment or we did that project. Astonish, I did not know, but the first night I met him, he was like automatically like one of the coolest people I ever met. He's just one of those people. He's a good guy. He's a good person. And I remember in the beginning, a lot of times like people were like, oh, he sounds like Lupe. You know, and he kind of was just like, whatever. He didn't let it bother him. He kept doing what he did. And I think like, man, he's one of those people that I keep on seeing and being like, why is this dude not on the top right now? Why is he not somebody who's more recognized? Yeah. He's just one of those ill MCs, man. He really brings it. He's very creative. You know, I can't say enough good things about him, man. He's a real humble dude too. But yeah, he's dope as hell on the mic. But we got together, and it was kind of just like, hey, why don't you guys try to make something? You know, we could put a little project together and put it out. It's like, all right, let's see what we could do. And you know, the Antique Black had just came out like not too long before that. So I was like, you know, we could throw a couple of these Antique Black joints on here so that, you know, we have more music for people to check out. And it was kind of an idea like, you know, we'll have songs together, but we'll have some songs also kind of just showcasing us individually or whatever. And yeah, we sort of put that together. It was never really meant to be a group or anything. It was just like, this is what Moment's doing. Like, this is the next step for Moment. And so we did a bunch of like songs with over beats that were like popular and stuff, and you know, and then we had our own original songs on there too. And yeah, we put it out, and I never even thought that'd be anything. I thought it was just like an announcement, people listen, you know, whatever. Then people started being like, yeah, the biz and this and that, and I'm like, we a group now? You know, and like internally, you know, like I think PNS said something like, what's that? Like one and done? Like the biz already broke up. Y'all ain't doing nothing else. It's like, wait, when did we become a group? Like, but I mean, in the beginning, it was the three of us hanging out and doing shows together, and you know, just really, it was a good thing because we were kind of like the next generation of moment artists, and so, you know, that was pretty dope until it wasn't. And so, yeah, that's. I mean, and that's like, there's a lot of blame to go around, man. Like, you know, me being a little more mature, I could say like there's things I probably did that I shouldn't have done, and ways I acted that I probably shouldn't have acted like. I mean, I'm a pretty level-headed person, but you know, I'm not the most trusting of individuals. Like Doe could tell you that. Like, yeah, it takes me a while before I actually trust somebody.
He did not trust me at all. He was like, "Ooh, I don't know about this guy." I'm like, "What does this mean?"
I ran up on Doe accusing him of some stuff. We're gonna forget about that.
No, we've totally forgot about that. But let's focus on a really good time in that era. Like, what were those shows like? Because in that time, I think that was the most that you've done shows back to back, and those were huge shows. What were those times like?
I mean, it was amazing because it was like every show was fun. And it was like, you know, you had to practice, you had to get things like together. But it was just, it's fun knowing that when you get up on stage, you got somebody else up there with you who, you know, is also doing their own thing. And it just kind of felt like, it was never really like competition, like who's going to get the most applause or anything like that. But it was kind of just like, we are a unit and we're doing this and we're having fun. And we're going to try to, you know, put the best foot forward for each of us. So we're all representing each other. And it, in a sense, did feel like a group, but we were all doing like solo songs or maybe a couple songs. We had stuff together. And it was just good, man. It was good. And then, you know, it kind of changed up to where Scheme wasn't really as much a part of it anymore, and then it was just me and Astonish. And I think that has to do with, like, you know, he had a project he was working on, and maybe he kind of had some other things going on in his life, and that kind of made things slow down for him a little bit. And I don't know how how things were handled, like if it was like handled in the best way, but you know, it kind of ended up being just me and Astonish like pushing forward. And, you know, Astonish was working on his debut album. I was working on my album with them. Yeah, we just kept going. And then we ended up going to South by Southwest. And it was me, Astonish, Monkey, Selfish, all in the car together. Were you there that year, Doe? Were you there?
I don't know. Because I know I went with All Natural Inc., but I don't know if I went with you guys.
I think we did like a show in conjunction with Gravel Records, like their label.
Was that the show where the girls were getting painted on the graffiti paint?
Oh, they had a lot of that going on there. I'm not sure if that's like one specific thing that happened, but like during that time, you know, actually no, they did have it at that show. I think it was kind of off of the 6th Street like activities for South by Southwest. It was like kind of like one of those ones that was just outside of it.
I was there, but I wasn't with you guys.
Okay, yeah. So I think we went to do it with Verbal Kent, and that's kind of the beginning of like where it was me, Astonish, and Verbal Kent, and we started doing shows together. And yeah, we did like a Midwest tour and everything. Like that stuff was fun. I mean, Oh, go ahead.
Who were the big names who were some of the big names you performed on stage with?
So I performed with Wu-Tang, Bun B, Lil Brother, Murs, Idea. I mean, there's a lot of people. Like I can't even remember all the people. Man, I did a show with Blowfly.
What?
Yeah, Blowfly, man. It was crazy, man. He had girls all over him. And like I remember me and Astonish probably just sitting there looking like, man.
Wait, where was I? Was I Astonish's DJ at the time?
I'm not sure. If you don't remember it, then you might not have
don't
been.
Remember it.
It was pretty early on. And I think Monkey was handling that. Monkey was my DJ during that time, during the moment in time. Yeah, it was always a really funny, weird time with Monkey as my DJ because he had an issue with the moment. So it's like I'm already not a person who trusts that easily. And then you have somebody in your ear like, yo, man, they just waiting to fuck you, man. You don't know anything what you're doing. They gonna screw your ass like the minute they can. Like it's like, yo, man, chill. I used to try to tell them to just chill out. Like
he was the little red devil on the left side.
Yeah. I felt like that a lot, man. Like I had like this person in my ear telling me all these things, like, and I think it was like out of concern because he cared,
of course,
and his dealings with them had always been like negative, I guess. And like people he talked to and dealt with, he felt like they had negative dealings too. So it was enough information for him to feel like, don't fuck with these people. Even when I was telling him like, me and Memo talking, and we might like try to make something happen on moment. He was like, "Nah, don't do it." Even at the beginning, like, nah. And the end of that story kind of turned sad because like I couldn't keep dealing with it. I couldn't me and Monkey were friends, but it felt like our friendship was not gonna last through all of the drama, all the issues between him and the moles. And I go to them and they be like, "Oh, get rid of your DJ, like he's terrible, like get somebody else." And it's like, no, I ain't gonna listen to you. I don't trust you.
And then you go back to them,
and then I go to him and he be like,
get rid of the
yeah, and he's like, yeah, leave them alone, man. Don't fuck with them. They crooked. He be telling me shit like that. So it's like, I had two different sides telling me, drop the other one. And it was real difficult dealing with that. But in the end, I kind of was like, I told them Monkey is with me, and that's it. It's me and him. And they were like, all right, cool. They're like, we still moving forward. We still doing all this stuff. I'm like, cool, no problem. I told Monkey, like, yo, man, I'm going to see what's up with these guys and try to, like, do things. And he's like, it's like, all right. Like, he begrudgingly wanted to go forward. But, yeah, in the end, I kind of was like, I needed to, like, change that energy around me. And so I had to tell him, like, let's part ways for a little bit. I kind of needed a little bit of like space. It felt like a breakup. It's really weird when you split from your DJ. It's like a it's like a breakup. It's weird. So I told him like I need a little bit of time to like figure this out, and maybe in the future we'll link back up and do some more stuff. But I just needed like a little bit of time, and that pretty much destroyed our friendship. And so we didn't speak for a while. And
I didn't know this story was gonna be so sad, bro. Like it's super.
I'll tell you all the sad.
This is the saddest Midway podcast ever. We gotta get to some good stuff, bro. Like when is this new album coming out? Or
let me
Jesus Christ.
Let me finish this. I mean, I kind of
before we for you, Monkey moment.
Before we went on this, I kind of like said to myself, like, I'm going to be pretty transparent and like just kind of say whatever. And so like any question, anything anybody wants to ask, I would answer. And I'd be pretty, forthcoming about it. So, the thing with Monkey, that kind of fell apart. He was kind of rocking with Green Llama too and Selfish. And me and him ended up getting to a bad place where I was like, yo, he can't be affiliated with Llamas. I don't want that. He can't be a part of that.
Yeah.
And so the Llamas kind of sided with me, and Selfish got upset. because Selfish was still friends with him, and that damaged our relationship.
Yeah, between you and Selfish?
Yeah, between me and Selfish. So,
wow.
you know, we went from being like brothers, like being either on the phone or hanging out every single day, doing music and just talking about life and, you know, just philosophy and ideas, to like right now, I think we probably talk once every few weeks, maybe. And you know, he's still always been down. Like he did like a lot of production on my last album, but you know, it's kind of like the relationship goes from us like being together in the same room, working on some stuff and building things, to now like I just be like, yeah, I heard this beat, can I use it? And he's like, yeah, okay. And then I just do a song and I send him the song when it's finished so he can hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a completely different vibe now. And, you know, it's just, it took a lot out of all of us going through that period. And, you know, high stress issues, like we were also moving. We were moving into a townhome from the apartment. So there was a lot going on. And it got really weird between me and the Moles, because we kept having issues where, you know, I really just wanted to know everything. I wanted transparency. I wanted to feel somewhat in control of like what's going on with my music. We finished my album. We determined a release date. And at the time we were having some issues. Like we kind of had like some beefs brewing, and, you know, we didn't squash beef. So at the end of it all, I ended up throwing my own album release party, and they weren't part of it. They didn't come. Yeah, I threw it at the dark room.
You're gangster.
I threw my own album release party. They didn't come. They had no part of it. And it was like, yeah, that's cool. You know, and I still was trying to hold out hope, like, you know, hey, maybe, you know, we can still make some things happen. But yeah, like one of the last times like I dealt with them, we had a show, and it was at the Abbey Pub. And the cat there, he, instead of giving me the money, he went and he gave it to one of the Moment. And well, one of the people part of the Moment collective. And when I got the money, it was short. It was short from what he said it was. And I questioned them. I questioned them immediately about it. And I think it was kind of telling of like where my mind was and how I felt about, like, as far as did I trust them or not. And in a way, it kind of exposed that I didn't really trust them. And so, you know, I questioned them about the money, and, you know, it was like straight up like, no, we didn't take no money. You know, this is what it was. And I just kind of felt like, man, like that was it. That was all I needed to see. And so from that point on, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Like, so my thing is how don't you trust the people who first of all, they've been doing this for so long, right? Like they have this huge name. It's the Moment, and they put their name and their energy and their expertise into putting out an album by you who people might not know. So there has to be some form of trust there and especially because they're spending their money to build up your name. So
and so yeah, and exactly the things that you said were kind of like the things I didn't think of at the time. At the time, I just was like, my mind, in a sense, with that situation, it went real small and petty instead of seeing the big picture. And I got into a place where I think I finally succumbed to all the negative stuff that I had heard and things that have been just pounded in my head. And I just kind of was like, you know what? This is what it is. This is what's going on. I made an assumption. And, you know, when I finally could see clear and I could think clear and think, you know, Shondo kind of helped us along. I kind of was like, wait, dude at the Abbey, like everybody knew he was like a cokehead. Why the hell did I believe that motherfucker over these people. So it was one of those situations where I made a stupid mistake and believed in the wrong person. And it just kind of, it was one of those things that haunted me for a while too. Just like it was stupid. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think the situation though, it just wasn't the right fit, regardless of all that. It wasn't a right fit. Like, I think Panic, like me and him worked together pretty well. I think, like, you know, having him create beats, it was a great experience. Like, where I tell him I kind of want this, and he'll start working on it, and I'm hearing the music as he's making it. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. And I think us doing music like that, like by the end of that album that we were making, we finally clicked into a place where I think me and him could have made like a classic album right after that. But because of all the stuff that happened, it just kind of was like a situation that was cut short. And yeah, like I said, it's like there's blame on my side about some of the things, the way I handled it. And I think like on their end, there's stuff that, you know, maybe they feel like they probably could have did differently. But,
so this is one good thing out of all this bad stuff that we've been talking about. Can we talk about, so one of my favorite mixtapes in the world, like,
oh yeah,
one of my favorite mixtapes in the world is your mixtape, The
Unlikely Villain.
Unlikely Villain is one of the best mixtapes ever made. So, Monkey had a huge hand in that, which is your little devil. And and
I mean, it was like, it was a stupid like idea in my mind, because I already had the idea or the title for the album. The album was going to be called The Unlikely Hero, and I named the album that because one of the songs, like, Panic threw me this beat, and it just spoke to me. So I called it The Unlikely Hero, and I was like, oh, the album could be called The Unlikely Hero. Then I was like, man, I probably should do something to promote a little bit to get like attention for this album. What if I do an album called, or a mixtape called The Unlikely Villain? And, you know, the villain is Doom, use all Doom beats. And I thought, like, you know, these guys were going to tell me that's the stupidest thing ever. Like Selfish and Monkey was like, that's a great idea. I was like, yes, let's do it. So actually during a lot of that, I was sick. I don't know what was wrong with me. I was like coughing, and you'll hear it on some of the songs, like my voice is all out of whack. But yeah, mostly I just stayed in the house, blanket on, in my chair, typing rhymes on the computer, and, you know, just getting this thing together. We did that whole project. I want to say we focused in and we finished in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks. It was so fast. It's like I sent stuff to Tony, he sent it right back. Like, Selfish was there with me while I was creating it. We're doing skits together and stuff. It was a real fun time.
Wasn't there a rare MC sighting of Sean Doe on that project as well?
Yes. Doe spit on that one.
I remember writing the rhyme for it at your house, and I remember you coaching me on how to record. He was like, yeah, not suck. But he was, but
just a little bit of coaching.
I mean, I've recorded before, but basically, really, no. So basically, he says, like, scream on the mic, like, be as loud as you can, and I never had done anything like this, so I'm screaming on his mic. And when he recorded it, when the record came back, it was just like a perfect verse. Like, my level sounded really good, and I'm really happy at what I did with that.
Okay,
he said perfect verse. Perfect verse.
I was gonna say, that's coming from you. Coming from a true professional. What did you think about his hollering and hooping and hollering?
All right, hands up, you caught me.
That's right.
No,
I'm it up, and you can't even stop me.
I think like when I heard his verse, I kind of was like, this is a cat who doesn't rap, and he probably should be rapping. Like honestly, like it's like, yeah, it was a little rough around the edges just for like as far as performance wise, but like the stuff he wrote is like, yo, like he should be rapping. Definitely. And you only get better and better as you do it. So right. I felt like I wanted to encourage him, and so he also is on another song. This one, we were out in Detroit. And he gave his MySpace page address.
So it haunts me every time.
MySpace.com, that cat Shondo.
Yeah. It haunts me classic, every day.
Classic material, man.
Classic material.
But yeah, also out of this situation, out of like the moment situation, me and Doe became closer, and and we started doing stuff together and stuff. So yeah, that was great, because I mean, he's definitely, I feel like, more of a fit, more positive energy. It's like you gotta like listen to him whine and complain every once in a while about his love life, but outside of that, once you get past that, he's actually an all right guy.
So all my friends make this sound like they know what you're talking about.
So funny.
Once he starts saying something, it's like, here we go.
Back to these albums.
Yeah.
What was next? Decay, the Llama.
So yeah, like the whole thing with the moles kind of, it left me in a bad place for a while. I kind of didn't really want to do anything for a while. So the only thing I was open to, I did like a bunch of like guest features on people's songs. Like I did stuff with the Prime Meridian, with Rashid Hadi,
Rita
J, with King. Like, I mean, I kind of was just going around doing like guest spots. And I didn't really want to focus on like an album too much. So I kind of just chilled. And DiBiase started working on Llamaville. And so I contributed a few verses to Llamaville, which it was kind of just like DiBiase beats, Llama's on the rhymes. It was pretty dope. Even DiBiase rhymed. So it was a fun project. And then he put that out, and that got a lot of attention. And people were asking for that on vinyl, and it's like we didn't really have the backing to go do that. It would have been all out of pocket, and I got a family. I can't even, do all that kind of stuff. So, we did that. And then like, I kind of started feeling like, okay, maybe it's time for me to work on something else. And Fluent had sent me a few beats. I had a few songs written around the end of when I did Unlikely Hero that I was already getting ready to do another City Slick album. And so I kind of went back to some of those songs, and I wrote a whole lot of new ones. And before you know it, I had like an album put together for this next City Slick album. And we dropped that project, and that also got a lot of love. We had a lot of views for this video I put out called The Believer, in which I kind of addressed a lot of things that had happened to me, like during the time I was out. And like a little bit before, like I was, when I was with the Moles a little bit, Cat tried to diss me on a song, and, I kind of had a couple lines for him back, but, it wasn't really anything too big. So, yeah, but that project was, it was a pretty good project. It was a nice one to come back to, back with a familiar friend working on the beats, and, we just had fun with it. So that was another good one. Then we put out it was a few years in which I had started working as a teacher. So trying to get my bearings as a teacher, and then also like, you know, my kids, like trying to, you know, balance everything, family life, time with the wife, teaching, and then still trying to do music here and there. That was a big challenge. And so I was working on songs here and there, like over time. It was like really spread out. And then when I got focused, I was like, okay, let me try to put this album together, which was going to be Acid Blue and Other Demons. And when I started putting that together, I saw there was a lot of songs that I had that weren't going to fit. And so I put all those songs together and realized like I had another project. And I originally wasn't going to put it out, but I kind of was like, let me do this in a sense, like kind of like the mixtape idea, put it out, get like a little bit of a buzz before I put out the album that I'm trying to put out. And I put out this album called D. So it's 10 tracks. A couple of them are a little old on that. Like one's especially old. That's the one where Shondo drops his MySpace.com link on that. That's how old that song is. That's like a.
Thanks for telling everybody where they can get it now.
Oh yeah, they can go ahead and listen to it. It's on the Machine Wash Music Bandcamp. So machinewashmusic.bandcamp.com. You can listen to Shondo and try to find his MySpace page. So that album, we dropped that one July. I want to say 4th of July last year. We dropped it 4th of July last year, and we spread out like the time to put out the next one, which was Acid Blue and Other Demons. We put that one out in December. So yeah, that one. That was something that was a long time coming. I definitely wanted to do like an album that had like dark themes to it, and like, you know, themes of like depression, feeling lost, you know, and just a general kind of like blue album, you know, and even like everything from like the cover, the title, everything kind of harkens back to like this bluish mood, like depressed mood. Like melancholy. So that's kind of the theme of the album. And I knew when I was putting it together, I was like, this is not like anything I've done before. And there's going to be people who just can't rock with it. But I kind of felt like I had to put this album out. And luckily, like, you know, some of the people I had on it, like they could see the vision, like Psalm 1, she was down, she got on it. My guy Quelle Chris, he got on it, and he put out an album not too long ago that was also kind of had a similar thing to it as well, but it's probably a little brighter than what I was going for. But his verse fit perfectly, like even his mood and the way he delivered it, it was perfect for the album. So yeah, that was the last one I put out, Acid Blue and Other Demons.
How many albums do you have?
Never really like thought about it. If I include like The Unlikely Villain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that, maybe 7. So yeah, I completely didn't really talk too much about the Unlikely Hero and the
Money in the
Process. Oh, The Money in This Fool was the second City Slick album. Yeah, I didn't say the title probably, maybe. But yeah, that was the second City Slick album that I came out with after the Moment situation. But The Unlikely Hero with the Moment, that was probably the weirdest album for me to record, because we went to go do it at a studio. We were at Soundscape Studios. Michael Kolar, the engineer, good dude, real supportive, cool. Recording in that environment is just so different from what I was used to. You know, I'm like doing bedroom, like recording, basement recording, and then to go to like a high-end studio, it was really weird to me. And I mean, you know, it's like certain things like that like happen, and then you start like to think of yourself and like, am I really a rapper? Like I can't really like do my thing in a studio exactly. It's kind of weird, but I think like in a way it came through on the album that I wasn't able to get as comfortable as I normally do. So, you know, I couldn't get butt naked there, so I couldn't do that. So
it just keeps getting sadder and sadder.
I know I couldn't get butt naked.
Let baby boy get butt naked.
I love the As of Blue album. That's really, really dope. And one of the things that I think you got a lot of good praise for was the video that you did with Psalm for the Acid the As of Blue song. What talk about that video a little bit? Was that your concept for the visuals, or did you kind of leave that up to somebody else? How did that come about? Because it's a really unique look.
Yeah. So I gotta say that was it APJ? APJ did it? Yeah. So APJ came through, you know, with it. Like I hit him up because Psalm actually recommended him. And so I hit him up to see, you know, what the prices are and all that. We worked it out. And then we were like, yeah, let's just shoot this thing. Like, you know, me and Psalm, we're just going to rap at the camera and stuff. And he said he can do effects and things to like make it a little more unique. And so I was like, yeah, I'm up for that. Let's see how it goes. It was like a no frills kind of thing. We went to some location in Pilsen, I think. We were like in this like industrial kind of area where nobody was coming around, and we just were able to like shoot and just kind of have fun and just wild out. And Psalm was real cool. It was cold as hell, but she was like, yeah, let's get this thing done. And in the end, like when he put it together, originally it seemed like it was too dark. So he had to brighten it up a little bit. And after he brightened it up, I was like, you know what? Let's put like a blue, like kind of thing over the whole thing, just to try to give it like a little bit more of a blue thing. And he did that. And then he mixed in some B-roll stuff, like where he's rolling by the stores, by the police car, all these kind of things. And it just came together, looked really good. And so I was like, yeah, there we go. It was a very easy video to shoot. You know, we usually, you know, you have to come up with the treatment and have all these different things. This one, we just kind of did it guerrilla style, went shot and just done, easy.
Yeah, sometimes it gets really easy to overthink things.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good video, good experience. You know, Psalm, she's a beast. Like I wrote my verse for that song in a certain kind of way, and I delivered it a certain kind of way. And she came in and she spit her verse, and I was like, yo, let me rewrite what I got here a little bit.
I was there that night.
Some people wouldn't want to say that, but I gotta give her props, man. Like she's one of those really just, she's a gem here in Chicago, and you know, I'm glad whenever she gets like, you know, a spot, whenever she gets like her money, it's like, yo, go Psalm. You know, I fully support her.
Yeah,
Nice.
Pick up Psalm.
Yeah,
Big
I
up,
think
big up.
she's in Paris or something. I Insta stalk her.
Yeah.
She was in Paris in a robe. I was like, holy hell, look at you.
Yeah. She took her mom out there, I think.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
goals, man. I wish I could have took my mom. Yeah, somewhere in there, I didn't even mention like my mom passed away, and yeah, so it was like there was a lot of things going on that I just kind of wasn't in the headspace to rap for a while. So I took a few breaks. Yeah. But now, I mean, you know, after putting out 2 projects last year, I have another one that I'm kind of slowly working on. It's a EP with this cat in Brooklyn named D Melodic. I've got to work on it some more. I've kind of been taking a little bit of a break because for me, whenever I put out an album, there's a period after, if I'm not already working on something, I kind of need like time to recharge in a way.
Mhm.
Like putting out these albums, it's like it takes so much out of you, you know, not even just, you know, the whole process of recording and going around and trying to like get promotion. It's just like going within yourself and examining and pulling something up to write about or something to talk about. You know, it's an experience. So you need to recharge after that.
Because things like MySpace are very personal.
Yeah, that was a doozy.
Well, at least I know I have time to write a verse for this album.
Hey.
All right, have you been
I
invited?
created a monster.
Have you been invited yet? Or are you just moving?
Nope. He has not been invited. But I've created a monster. So I gotta keep him fed though.
That's because Sean doesn't know what to rhyme with Instagram.
Insta.
You're up to date, son.
Insta fam. Oh man. Oh shit.
So
Insta damn.
Insta damn.
What? Insta damn.
I went from Instagram to Insta damn. Hey, don't bite that.
I just came up with
that.
No, but I put them together. Though.
Yeah, you did put them together. Yeah, for sure.
He's the producer.
I'm your Quentin Miller. No shots at Drake though. No shots.
Who's your top Chicago
No shots.
artist that you have not worked with yet that you would like to work with?
Cab D. I definitely wanted to work with him. I think it'd be hard to pull him away from the Warriors to be like, yo, let's make a track. I wanted to do something with Juice, and I had an opportunity at one point, and I probably should have took it, and I just kind of was like mentally not there. So for like making music, and so yeah, I missed that one. I mean, EC. You know, like he has such an impact. Like I always would have wanted to do a song with him. Yeah, I mean, there's a few people. Like here's one that might throw dough for a loop. LEP Bogus Boys.
Yeah,
LEP.
that's wrong.
Like, I mean, those cats. Like, I'm like, where are they? We need that. We need them. You know. And maybe like from the newer school, like probably like Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa, you know, like his project he put out, there's a lot going on. Like, you know, he's definitely somebody who knows what's up, you know. I refuse to say he's woke, but he knows what's going on. That's one of those words, man. When certain words come out, you know, you resist it for as long as you can.
Yeah.
And then you start saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of cats like I've always wanted to work with. Like I'm still trying to figure out like, you know, something for me and someone. No, not someone. You know, I did something with someone. Me and Ange 13 to get on. Because Ange, like when I did the first City Slick album, The Antique Black, I hit her up to get on one of these songs, and she said she was gonna do it. Then she disappeared on me, and I was like, man, I gotta get a replacement. So Selfish filled in and did the song instead. And then when I saw her like months later, she was like, man, weed. That's all I could say. You know what the weed do? Like, it's like, yeah, I guess that's a good excuse. So like, you know, we kind of since then been I've been trying to figure out something to get her on. And, you know, it's just like, just trying to find the right joint, you know. But yeah, she's definitely a lot closer. Like me and her are a lot closer these days. So I see that being something that's just a matter of time. It's gonna probably happen soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who did you look up to when you were first starting out?
Well, I mean, originally like Wu-Tang, but from here it was like, you know, EC, Cap D, like when I got all natural like that, man, no additives, no preservatives.
Mm-hmm.
It came with a book. And I was like, who does this? Who includes a book with their album? And it just was like, this is amazing, you know? And so like, even just that idea was really dope. Oh, you got it? Oh man, fresh air. Yeah, somebody took mine. That's how it always goes. I got a bunch of CD cases, and I'm like, oh damn, I got this. I open up the case, there's no CD. It's like, damn, let somebody borrow it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So as bad as I am with these DVDs and tapes, like somebody took my
somebody else's bad with CDs.
Yeah, it's the circle of life. Circle of life. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't got to keep showing.
Don't try. I just want to say that it's a dope, add-on to the album artwork, cover artwork by Slang.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's
Daryl's super salty.
I know, right? Like, you gotta keep showing it, man. Yeah, I lost mine. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of people in Chicago who, it was always dope to me that, I wanted to work with. There's people who I worked with that I'm still just like blown away by. Like Prime Meridian, like we did a song together, and me doing my verse, I was kind of just like, okay, I did a little verse on this thing. Let's see how it comes out. And they sent me the final version back. It was like, what the hell? Like this was like the most incredible song ever. And yeah, like to me, like some of their music, that's just how it is. Like they have this incredible sound. I've been following Prime Meridian for a while.
Yeah.
Working with Rashid Hadi. Hadi is like, he's amazing. Like I got lucky and I've done like a few tracks with him, maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. But yeah, he's an amazing producer. And I was glad I had a chance to work with him all, man. Like, PNS was definitely like my favorite producer when I was just like a fan of them. But then coming to work with them, it's like Panic really, he's amazing. Panic is a really dope producer. Memo too. There was like songs that Memo did that I didn't even know was Memo. And, like he's also another, they just have a really dope crew. Like they all bring their own thing. And shoot, I wish there was more of their music coming out. Sure. That used to actually help me when I was rhyming, when I was like just I wasn't doing projects and I was just freestyling. I used to buy like a Moment instrumental tape and just freestyle on that thing front to back. So yeah.
Nice.
Even though we our whole thing ended, I got so much respect for those guys and a lot of appreciation too for what they did for me. Yeah, so I mean I always big up Mo, man, regardless. And if they ever need anything from me, they know they can hit me up. I still talk to Panic and PNS and Memo whenever he comes out of hiding. He's a hard one. He's a hard one to catch up to. But
yeah, we were actually able to get all 3 of them for their interview for Midway. We were waiting a while. They were obviously they were on the list from the beginning, and when we finally got them, we wanted to get all of them together. It's we try to do it when we can, and
you should have played the lottery that day. Should bought yourself a lottery ticket. You got all 3 of them.
And shout out to PNS. Is it his birthday today or was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was like it might have been yesterday. Yeah, the day before. Yeah. Happy B-Day, P and S.
Bless up. Yeah, it was like he was there yesterday for sure.
I remember the first time I heard of him, I was like, is that DJ Penis?
Well, at one point it was.
Yeah. It was like DJ Penis. I think you could just read between the things like P and S. Like, nah, that's got to be penis. This is hip hop.
Sean, did we confirm the Jay with the Damages story that he was the one that officially kind of changed it for PNS?
I don't know if we confirm that. Risky would know better.
Yeah, he's got a much better memory than I do for everything. But,
Risky would know that.
Yeah. Anyway, should we roll into a little bit of this or that here?
This or that time.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, sleeping. I was working on a little something, and you guys will see here in a little bit. But
This or that. This or that. This or that.
Yes,
Decay
yes.
Llama. This or that.
Carlos, you got one?
Hell no.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll give my my this or that.
Okay.
Xbox or Nintendo?
Nintendo all the way.
You are a Nintendo nerd.
I love Nintendo. Nintendo's my shit, man. I grew up on Nintendo. I chose them over a Sega Genesis.
So
You know how much it hurt to see people playing Eternal Champions and all I had was Mortal Kombat with sweat instead of blood? That shit sucked. But Nintendo, I wouldn't trade it. Wouldn't trade it though.
the original Nintendo or Super Nintendo?
I'd have to say Super Nintendo was my shit. I love Super Nintendo.
Have you been
And
messing
NES
with
is
the
dope,
Nintendo
too.
Go?
The Nintendo Go.
The new one that they came out with?
Oh, the Switch?
Switch. That's
Oh,
what it
the
is.
Switch. Yeah. We got 3 of them in my house.
Damn.
Nintendo all the way, man. Nintendo. They put out a product, they got my money. Instant. This is instant.
Nice. Would you rather play the hero or the villain?
I'm a nice guy. I go hero. I go boring. I'm the hero.
I think he's only saying that for this interview. He's
Well, it
such the
depends.
villain, bro.
He's
such the villain, bro.
No. There's
You're
certain
such
situations
the
where I'm
villain,
a
bro.
villain. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a hero. Be a nice guy, kids. All right.
Until you figure out he's the villain. Thank you.
No. You're misrepresenting me, man. I'm such a nice guy. I'm a hero.
Yeah, you are.
But a hero ain't nothing but a sandwich.
That's right.
That's the villain coming out. Nah, hero. I'm a hero. All right.
Cool.
Do you have Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Ryan.
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask him, does he have any shows or anything soon?
You mean, do we have a show? Yes, we do. Friday at Niche Gallery. It might take me a minute to look up the address, but it's right off of 18th of the Expressway. It's an art gallery. They're having a show by James Nelson, and he has some very interesting work. It's going to be up. It's his opening, so we're going to close out his opening with the Maintenance Crew Educated Fools album release party. And so I'm performing on it. Doe's going to be the DJ for it. I got, who else is coming out? We got Remsky, producer, Shatala, Maintenance Crew, he's going to be performing. I can't remember if there's anybody I'm forgetting. We might have Visto come out and perform or actually play a few of his beats because we got his project coming out later on this month on Machine Wash. I didn't really talk about Machine Wash too much, but that's the label that I started up with my friends. So also at the show, I got my guy, new cat on the scene, B Flow. He's gonna do a song during my set. So, kind of a chance to like give him a minute to shine and see, if the crowd's feeling them. And, and just, I'm pretty sure they are going to feel them, but, just give them a nice little chance to perform in front of a crowd and, and see how things go, going forward. But yeah, Friday's going to be the show. We're going to probably be there around like 8 or something like that. I think the show starts a little earlier, the art show. So if you want to come through and get cultured, and then let us bring it back down to the hood with our show. You come hang out. It'll be dope. It'll be dope. We're gonna have some fun.
Cool. Well, man, dude, thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm glad I got to profess my love for Nintendo. Also, nobody asked, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Spice Girls, that's my shit. Spice Girls.
Yeah, that's why I always play Spice Girls at our 80s night. I play it for him.
It's the funniest thing, man. People wouldn't believe it, man, but I'm a Spice Girl fan, man. I'm a big time Spice Girl fan. But you know,
if they had like a fan club, he would be like the leader of the Spice Girls.
Do you have a favorite Spice Girl?
Oh, you know, it's Scary Spice. Wow. Scary Spice, man. She's the one who actually brought me into the whole thing because I heard Wannabe and I thought it was the worst song ever created by humans. And I was like, take this shit off the radio. And then I saw the video for Say You'll Be There. And when she was playing a character called Blazing Bad Zula, and that was it.
The Spice Girl thing is real.
I was like, Spice Girls all day. I like this so much. I went back and listened to Wannabe, and I was like, this is the best song ever. Best song ever. What was I talking about? I love this song. So,
wait,
yeah.
We don't have any time to talk about the show you went to.
I went to see the Spice Girls live. Let's just say there was a lot of parents holding their little daughters close. Like, what the hell is he doing here? And not to mention, I went with my other two grown male friends who also were in the Spice Girls. And
oh boy,
I know it's hilarious. It's like if it was somebody else, I'd be cracking up too. But yeah, this is real, man. Spice Girls, man.
I can't lie. That was an unexpected turn.
Yes. Yeah.
All of a sudden, I've never seen you so happy.
He figured since his pants was off.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's all out there. It's all out there.
Spice Girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. My interview is going to be the most unique one on this whole thing. Nobody else is touching that. Spice Girls,
Gangsta.
Come on.
Butt ass naked.
It's like drop mic Spice Girls. We all got our guilty pleasures. I mean, somebody else might listen to Young Thug. I listen to Spice Girls, whatever. It's all good. Yeah.
Shondell, what's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, wow. What is it? You put me on the spot. I like my favorite. No.
He likes Wham B-sides. What the hell do those sound like?
My guilty pleasure is playing NWA and Backstreet Boys together and watching people jam
in public.
In public.
So
or playing Bop.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Well, the thing is, I like playing really horrible songs or like horrible songs with really dope songs and watching people. Like I like watching their face. Like, did he just do that?
But it's not a guilty pleasure if you're saying it's a horrible song. Like when you said the NWA, I was like, okay, here comes his masculine answer. He likes to play NWA, whatever. And then he said, with Backstreet Boys. I was like, intriguing. Then you're like, I like playing horrible songs with good songs. It's like, get out of here. That ain't no guilty pleasure. What do you like that you know we will clown you for?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, I am totally the coolest dude ever, bro.
Okay. I got my eye out now, man. I'm be looking.
Yep. Yep. Anytime I play
Sean
Spice
Doe-
Girls, they're gonna know it's for you.
Sean Doe's guilty pleasure is taking all these goddamn selfies.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been one. I'm with the
and
family.
putting up-
I'm taking selfies.
and putting up pictures from Thailand like you still there.
I noticed that too. I noticed that too.
Yo, y'all just reminded me I need to put up a Thailand picture.
I'm like, Sean
yo,
Doe,
you still in Thailand?
right? I'm like, well, Sean is busy. He's in Thailand, and then he like takes a picture, and he's at a Midway interview, and I'm like, okay, where is this kid? He's doing a Midway interview in Thailand, and he does not tag Midway in it ever.
Oh man,
I should have known you guys were gonna clown me tonight. Thank you.
of course.
Oh.
All right, Decay, man. If people want to find you on the interwebs, where can they check you out at?
So on Facebook, it should be just MC Decay spelled out phonetically. On the MC is EMCEEDECAY Decay. MC Decay is like for Facebook, SoundCloud. I believe it's also for Instagram. And you can also go find the music at machinewashmusic.bandcamp.com. So go check it out. Appreciate it. Spread the word. Let your friends hear it. You know, let them know that there's some real dope stuff coming out of Chicago.
Word up.
Check
Yeah.
that.
Wait,
Oh
let's,
snap!
Check that out.
Oh
son.
snap!
What's up?
Check that out, son.
Oh, wow.
You know, you can click on my box down there, and you can see it real big instead of trying to.
That's what you've been working on?
Yeah,
The llama.
got the
Angry
llama
llama.
in there.
The angry old llama.
That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. That's
dope.
real dope. You just
Nice.
made that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real dope.
Low price of. Just kidding.
I was gonna say. What you charging?
That check you forgot to
You know how much that's
Yeah.
worth right now?
35 pounds.
Son.
I'm gonna find that check, yo. Imagine if I walked into a bank with that right now, like, yo, like what?
Right.
Our illustrator of the night. Where can people find you if they want to see more of your badass artwork?
Go to SeanDoe.com/MySpace.
MySpace.com.
/ Netscape dash CompuServe.
_ Friendster. No Friendster on there. At AOL.com.
Go to 192.168. No, for real. Just look for Coconut Justice. I'm out there.
Coconut Justice.
Sean Doe, where can people catch you at?
At DJ Sean Doe on Instagram, at DJ Sean Doe for Twitter, and Rasan Sean Doe Hawkins on Facebook.
And you can find me at 278 Media on Twitter and Instagram. The number is 278 and Media. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Genesis Art Supply and Emporium Arcade Bar for their continuing support of the project. Shout out to Doug Infinite and High Power Studios for our intro music
Yeah, son.
and sounds. And that is what we got. Check out midwaydocumentary.com. Of course, this is the podcast for our project. So midwaydocumentary.com, Midway Doc on Instagram and Twitter, and youtube.com/Midway Documentary Shy. So,
Boom.
yes. As usual, we've got a few things in the works, so hopefully the next week or two we'll be making some really cool announcements, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, Decay, thanks again, man, for joining us.
Yeah.
Almost.
Carlos,
Almost.
no. Until our next time.
Holla.
All right, guys.
Peace. Yeah.
Peace.